If you're a new freelancer, what do you think about deposit contract? How can you how can it be safe to get your money for your work? I'm your host Casino from casino.com, and so joining me today is Paul C from WpTuts. If you're a new freelancer, what do you think about deposit contract? How can you how can it be safe to get your money for your work? Yes, you definitely need a contract, and there are some techniques you can use to secure the money along the way of the project, because customers they answer to specific things in the project. And after many years of doing that, I think I found a way, and I think it's the same way that everybody that's been doing that for the same amount of time I did. And I'm pretty sure if I talk about it with Paul, we'll come to most likely some of the same conclusions, but definitely the contract. Yes.
Yeah, contract and deliverables. The way I work it is I always take 50% deposit prior to starting any project, and that then books that project into a 2 or 4 week period for most projects. A week prior to that, I'll have the content. If they don't supply me the content in that week, the project gets pushed until the next available spot for that project to go into. It's up to you then. What you could do is you could set up additional deliverables, which would say after design is approved, you'll get 25% more. That means you're 75% paid. If they don't complete the project, you've lost 25% at most. So set it up to a good deposit that means it's worthwhile you doing the work, and then set deliverables that, when you meet those points, you get additional payments, and then final payment before launch, and never launch before you're paid.
Exactly. I think we've kind of the similar process. I always ask 50% upfront. And then what I did, because usually before I used to ask 50% upfront and then 50% at the end of the project. Now I've completely changed that. What I do now is I release a demo. And when I release the demo, I ask for 30%. So why did I do that? Because sometimes the whole website was created and I had to wait like a year for the content, and 90% of the work was done. So it wasn't fair for me. So now I do that. I create a prototype wireframe demo. And another shameless plug, I created a tool to create the wireframes. But when I release that demo, I ask for 30%. And then I only proceed to moving to the design part and filling the content when I've been paid. And at this stage, I've been paid 80%. So if the client decide that they don't have the time for the content, I've been paid 80%. So then I can wait, no problem with that. But there's no way I'm going to wait a year to get the content when I've done 90% of the work and I've been paid 50%. Now, it's very important, and Paul talked about this earlier, that you have a contract. So, okay, you have your estimate, but you need to have a contract that's really going to secure all of that. And with that technique, you don't actually spend time working on something you're not going to get paid for. I get the deposit, then I start proceeding with the wireframe demo, and only when I get paid, I move on to the rest. So if at one point I don't get the content or I don't get paid, I haven't lost anything.
One extra point to add to that as well is to reiterate what Kay was saying there about some clients that take like a year before they even send you anything. There's something that I put into my agreement and my contract, is that deposits are only valid for 12 months. After that, if they come back, sort of 18 months later and go, well, I paid you deposit. Say, well, you didn't supply me the content. 12 months is what you get. If you don't supply it, then that's your problem. If you've got a client that can't supply the content to build their website in 12 months, they're probably not the client for you.
Exactly. Very, very good point. Something I need to implement also, because currently I've been quite lucky. I only had one client that went over the year, and actually the website was never completed, but he was really honest and he paid me in full, and he said, well, it's my fault. I don't have the time. I don't think I'll ever get the time. So lately it's been fine. But a few years back when I was getting started, I got abused with money. So you need to taste it once, I think, to really understand how it tastes in the mouth, and then you're gonna grow into a better freelancer. It's hard, but it teaches you a good lesson.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the other thing, just to sort of wrap that up completely, is that you have flexibility. Just because you put that in your contract, if you have a good relationship with that client and they come back and say, look, I'm really sorry, something happened and I just couldn't deal with it, well, you can turn around and say, well, that's fine, we'll waive that thing and we'll just carry on as normal. No one says that because you've written into your contract and they've signed it, that you can't be flexible. But having it there means that you have the opportunity to be flexible. If you've got a client you think this is not a good fit, you can just say, sorry, this is what's in the contract, you signed it, we move on and we'll split. But you could be flexible if you think, actually, that's totally understandable. What you happened to you was totally out of your control. So that's fine. We'll just carry on where we left off,
Exactly.
So I hope that you got value out of this. So make sure to subscribe and smash the notification bell so that you get notified when new podcast episodes come up. And by the way, make sure you check the WpTuts channel. You won't regret it. Oh, and if you want a killer branding for you or your clients, I created a brand guidelines template that you can download on my website. Initially, it was created for Affinity Designer, but you can use it with Adobe Illustrator with a workaround. So if you're interested, just go to quesinio.com/branding. So thank you for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next episode. And in the meantime, don't forget to invest
In your success.